So my daughter now was born at 10 weeks early, so she was 3 pounds, 6 ounces. I refer to her as my daughter, but when I got her, my daughter was a boy. So it turns out that the birth mom had been in Children's Hospital and had been apprehended herself because she was only 17. So I went to the family conference, met the birth mom and her mom. At that meeting, there was lots of talk. The baby was handed out around and everybody oohed and awed over this lovely little thing. I could see very clearly that the birth mom was very young and that she was stoned out of her mind. So, and then I saw the birth grandmother had some issues as well. So by the end of that part of the half day that we were in, the social worker from the ministry pulled me aside and told me that they would release the child to me today under the Family Relations Act if I was willing to take him. I knew I did not want the child under the Family Relations Act because I knew that it was such a limited program and that the birth family had the ability to get clean and 10 years, 5 years, 7 years down the road, come and claim the child back. So I said, are you sure? Because if there's somebody's gonna get clean, I'll foster, and then if they want the child back, they can have them. But if I'm taking the child and this is a forever thing, I want it to be forever. And she told me that nobody else, the grandparents or the parents, were ever gonna be approved to take the child. So if I didn't take her, that she would actually go up for adoption to public, and most likely the foster home that she was living in with 5 other children, all with FAS, was gonna be the home she'd be placed in permanently. I just couldn't do it, but I couldn't say yes because I had family at home. I was a single parent and I had my daughter, and I had to talk to her before I could bring a child home because I was supposed to be fostering. So the next day we went home. I talked to a lawyer that I knew through the ministry, got some legal advice, talked to my daughter, and we decided, yes, we'd adopt. So it took me just about 3 months to get foster training, so then she could be placed with me. Basically, she was in 2 hospital ICUs and a foster home for 3 months before she came to me. So trauma, trauma, trauma. When I got her, she actually had torticollis, so the foster home had laid her the same way all the time. She couldn't turn her head past center line. And she has a lactose intolerance, but was given milk formula, so had major irritable bowel. So at that point, I took her. Luckily, because I worked for the ministry, I agreed to everything anybody ever offered me. So the adoption, when I got her, she was working with an infant development worker and up in 100 Mile. And so they said to me, she's working with an infant development worker. Do you want to continue? And I said, of course I do, please. My daughter has 15 diagnoses. Most of the major ones that affect her are FAS, ADHD, oppositional defiance, impulse control, sensory disorders. And she does not do well. If she decides something's wrong, it's never right. You cannot convince her that, your opinion of that child is wrong. Sometimes we're extremely tight, but sometimes we're not. So I have received post-adoption assistance, which has been fabulous. And because I've worked in the field, I went and then read all the information on it. So I realized that I qualified for counseling and I qualified for occupational therapy. So my daughter has used many of those resources. I guess being a parent of a child that you've adopted that is a relative's child, totally not expected. I was 45 when I got her. So I wasn't young. I didn't have tons of energy. I'm now in my 60s, and I have a 17-year-old that it doesn't look like she's leaving anytime soon, right? So my friends are all retiring and traveling, and I had the police at my house last week for her beating up on me because I wouldn't give her something that she was totally not allowed to have. She's having issues with Instagram and people sending her inappropriate things, and I wouldn't give her the package, and she started attacking me. So here I am now. I actually have money for respite, but I have no respite caregivers. My daughter has been diagnosed with all the special needs, and Thank goodness for Kinship or Simon Fraser, because without him, I don't think I would have been able to keep her. I wouldn't have been able to handle it alone. I shed a lot of tears and a lot of parent support groups. And now I go to a trans parent support group that is really good. The problem with my daughter is she does not identify as trans. She identifies as female now. So she refuses to do anything with LGBTQ, any trans groups, because she's not trans, she's a woman now. She hasn't had any surgeries. I've refused to do any surgeries until she gets old enough to make that decision legally herself. But we've done the medications, the blockers, and the hormones. You have to prepare 3 months in advance. If you know you think something's coming, you have to have the paperwork in, and then it has to go through the adoption worker, through the supervisor, up to wherever, back down and get approved, sometimes 2 to 3 months. I know that there is a possibility of applying for disability for her, and I can do that when she turns 18 in September, so that when she's 19 and doesn't qualify, if she doesn't go to school or something, she'll actually still be able to get help. That's been the challenge. We're hoping she can graduate from high school, and I've been working on the last year that she would make a great makeup artist, because her makeup is impeccable. Like, she always gets told how beautiful she is and how great her makeup is and where'd you learn it, and she taught herself all off YouTube and stuff, and it's fabulous. So I've been trying to say, if you finish, then you can go to a school. And because we are in a ministry program, she will get the fee waivers to go to school. So that's my goal for her. That would be my ultimate best goal for her, is that she did that. My personal goal for her in the future is self-sufficiency, that she can be, maybe with help or whatever, in the community, and if not, at least in my basement suite, and being able to manage her own life without me having to be there for every decision.